Talk about busted. Rashida Tlaib and the so-called squad have been calling for President Trump's head because he said, if you don't like this country, you can leave it. Well, a comment has surfaced in which Tlaib said of Trump, deport this bleep. Ilhan Omar has a deportation tweet on a political opponent. Can we say double standard? Also, the leftists have struck again regarding a police memorial that mentions God. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. We're going to dive right in, but first, I want to tell you about my friends over at Bottle Breacher. You guys need to check these guys out. I've got some of their products at home, and they are just awesome. Just go to bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code BOBBY13-A1 for 20% off your next purchase of a veteran-owned, made-in-America company. They are just terrific. That's bottlebreacher.com, coupon code BOBBY13-A1. Okay. So now I want to talk about Trump's comments and other comments that we've learned about this week. You know, he said, if you don't like this country, you can leave. And people have just gone nuts. They've been saying he's racist. They've been saying all sorts of stuff, blasting President Trump. But I think we're about to learn about a little double standard here, because first, let's look at the reaction that people have had to President Trump's comments. All right, here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Once you start telling American citizens to, quote, go back to your own countries, this tells you that this president's policies are not about immigration, it's about ethnicity and racism.
All right, and of course, Ilhan Omar jumped in with some comments of her own.
And as much as he's spewing his fascist ideology on stage, telling you as citizens to go back because they don't agree with his detrimental policies.
All right, given that, it's really interesting that new comments have come up talking about getting rid of a person, talking about kicking them out of the country, and it's not President Trump who's saying it. In fact, it's Rashida Tlaib. Back in 2015, when Trump was running for president, she actually tweeted this. Check this out. She says, deport this bleep. All right. So where's the controversy there? I mean, why didn't anyone say anything back then? It's just amazing that the double standard exists. And she's not alone in saying this type of thing, the thing that Trump is taking so much heat about. Ilhan Omar, regarding a political opponent, tweeted to a cast of opponents. She says, we are citizens and can't be deported. Why don't we deport you to wherever you came from? All right. But I thought we can't say that stuff. I thought that was what the media is attacking and what the analysts, on the Sunday talk shows are saying is so bad. Yet Ilhan Omar said it about a political opponent, and Rashida Tlaib said it about President Trump. Deport this bleep. I mean, so I'm waiting for this week, maybe today, some tweets from the squad, from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, denouncing her partners here for these kind of racist tweets. They don't have any part in our discourse. They're un-American. So I'm waiting for the media and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to jump on and say, hey, this is no good. And speaking of the squad, those were older tweets that we dug up just so you could see the hypocrisy. But there's been some wild stuff this week. There's been some crazy comments that have gone on that just kind of go unnoticed. And I wanted to make sure that you guys heard them so that you can get a feel for how far left the Democrats are, especially the squad, and why President Trump is targeting them so much. First of all, we have Ilhan Omar. And as you know, she's been taking a lot of heat because she won't denounce anything. She made some very strange tweets regarding the 9/11 attacks. She won't denounce Al-Qaeda, and she actually gets frustrated when you ask her about it. Yet all she has to do is come out with a statement saying, these are bad guys, Hamas is a bad organization, you name it. Well, at a speech the other day, she was asked about genital mutilation for females, which is a horrific practice, mostly in the Middle East, and it's even getting attention there as a practice that needs to be done away with, that needs to be condemned. So at this meeting, she was asked a question about that and asked whether she would denounce such a practice, and here's what she said.
Your second question is an appalling question
because I always feel like there are bills that we vote on, bills we sponsor, many statements we put out, and then we're in a panel like this, and the question is posed, could you and Rashida do this?
All right, so did you check that out? She is appalled at the question. She's appalled that the question was asked, not the practice, never denounced the practice, but she's appalled that she was even asked this question. And she goes on, here's what she says.
How often should I make a schedule? Like, does this need to be on repeat every 5 minutes? Should I be like, so today I forgot to condemn Al-Qaeda. So here's the Al-Qaeda one. Today I forgot to condemn FGM. So here it goes. Today I forgot to condemn Hamas. So here it goes.
All right, and that is the problem, folks. That is why the questions keep being asked, because she does the same thing. There, she just listed all these bad organizations, and even there, she didn't denounce them. She mocked the whole idea, and that's why the questions, keep getting asked. And as far as a political stance, as far as a political strategy, just come out and say, I denounce Al-Qaeda. I denounce these terrorist attacks. I denounce terrorism, but she never says it. And that's why it keeps going. If you come out there, if you say it, it diffuses the situation. It's basic politics, yet she never does. And it really, really makes you wonder. And by the way, this person that asked the question in the audience wasn't some, right-wing troll that's out there to get her. This was the president of Muslims for Progressive Values, okay? Someone who cares about this issue, of the same faith as Ilhan Omar, not a troll, and yet Omar is appalled at the question. All right, so that's Ilhan Omar, but now we got to get to Rashida Tlaib, because these past couple days have been... they've just been wild, and President Trump has been having a great time, especially with the video that surfaced from 2016 when Rashida Tlaib was being escorted like a crazy person from a Trump rally. If you hadn't seen it, check out this video.
I will say the Bernie Sanders people
You guys are crazy!
You're an animal! Get a job!
Wow, so this person is an actual now sitting member of Congress, and she's having a meltdown like that at a Trump rally. It's just nuts. So of course President Trump had to respond, and here's what he said.
But I watched her this morning. She's vicious. She's like a crazed lunatic. She's screaming. This is before she got into Congress. Who elected her? She's screaming like a total lunatic at one of our rallies.
So it's just gold. It is pure gold. It is like the squad is the golden goose. And every now and then they lay these eggs for Trump, and he's just loving it. They just, when he runs low, out comes another egg, and it's just magical. The things he can say, he never has to address a Democrat opponent for the 2020 election because he has all of these. There's plenty of ammunition, plenty of topics to go around, and it's just funny. So he had his fun with that. But then Rashida Tlaib also came out and talking to an organization on fair wages and stuff. She decided to out Bernie Sanders. And so instead of $15 minimum wage, which we talked about on the last show, she's calling for a $20 minimum wage. Check this out.
When we started it should have been $15. Now I think it should be $20. Picture America Rising here. It should be $20. No, it should be $20 an hour.
So everything that we said about the $15 minimum wage on the last show, can you imagine what would happen if it was bumped to 20? Talk about artificial economics. Talk about all the people that would end up losing a job. Companies weren't built on that kind of model. They are built on a certain wage. They know how many people they can hire. They know how much revenue they can expect from a certain location, a certain business, and they factor that in with their payroll to see if, hey, is this a viable business? Can we even do this? Well, then if you throw in some artificial wage into the equation, it's going to screw everything up. And she wants to out Bernie Sanders by jumping to $20 an hour. It's just absolutely nuts. So I want to move on from the squad to just another this is just something that really burns me up. And we've seen it with Ten Commandments monuments across the country and other types of dedications, memorials to servicemen and women, to firefighters, to police, whatever, even at schools. We've seen the left and these fringe organizations try and push them, to block them, to have memorials removed. Well, we're seeing it again, and this time it's in South Carolina. There's a police memorial, and on the back is a prayer that is actually quite common for these types of memorials. And here is the report from Fox News. It says, a South Carolina city literally scrubbed the word Lord from a memorial honoring fallen police officers after receiving complaints. The Tegakay Police Department put up a memorial donated by a civic group to honor fallen officers. It was similar to other memorials around the country, including Washington, D.C., but city's attorneys caution that because it doesn't have historical significance, it should be censored, Fox 46 reports. All references to the Lord were removed. And so it just drives me absolutely crazy, because they claim that this offends people. And this is the basis of our country. This is how our country was founded. And the more you push prayer and recognition of our higher power of God out of public discourse, the more and more it moves to the left, and the more the country goes downhill. And here's more from Fox News. On the front, the memorial has a scripture reference, Matthew 5:9, from Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount, which says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they are called the children of God." On the back of the stone was a prayer. Lord, I ask for courage to face and conquer my own fears, courage to take me where others will not go. Give me, Lord, concern for others who trust me and compassion for those who need me. And please, Lord, through all this, be at my side. All right, so that's what it says. Take a look at this picture of the memorial. You can see it right there. And Lord appears in 3 different places on the memorial, and yet it's filled in to make it look like the rock. It's just, you can still read it. Yet somehow they thought that this was better to fill that in, to get rid of it, and now we've, problem is solved. And so it's just absolutely nuts. Hopefully now, the latest report is that however many people complained before, I think it was mostly knee-jerk reaction from the government, now the actual complaints are mounting, and hopefully the people there will speak up and they'll do something about this and put the word Lord back in where it should, because this is just crazy and we see it too much, and we've got to change course, folks. We've got to change the direction of the country, and it can start with simple little things like that. So, folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This week has been incredible as far as our subscribers and views, and I just really, really appreciate it. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and tell your friends, and please hit the bell so that you'll be notified. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, just a little reminder before you go, and no, this does not count against my 13 minutes. Please hit the subscribe button below and tell your friends. And if you happen to miss our last show, you can check it out right here. And also for great conservative news and commentary, please check out GOPUSA.com. All right, folks, we'll see you on the next show. Have a great day.